All right, 431 Weather Impact Live for your Thursday afternoon. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins.
And I'm 10 Tampa Bay Meteorologist Colin Campbell.
And still the big talk. I think we're going to do a lot of this snowstorm that's coming out. I don't even call it snowstorm. We'd call it a winter storm.
Yeah, little mix of everything, really.
And ice is probably going to be the bigger deal. We'll talk about that. It looks like I really think northeast Georgia, most of North Carolina now at this time, and in parts of high country of South Carolina, Charlotte probably, Raleigh, some of the bullseye areas that we'll have to see that.
Yeah.
And then northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas will see it as well. Here's the forecast model. We'll start with that. We've been showing you this all week, and I like to do that because you can see the changes that we've been going through all week. And we know in these type of situations, things are going to change quite a bit.
Yes.
And that's happening. So this is Saturday afternoon. It actually gets started tomorrow afternoon and the evening in Oklahoma and Texas. And you can see by Saturday afternoon, it's already spreading through most of Tennessee, Arkansas, northern Mississippi, parts of Alabama. All right. The low itself will be sitting out over New Orleans and then moving off to the east and the northeast. That's overnight Saturday night into Sunday. And I think this is going to be one of the worst icing times that we're going to see it from Memphis, most of Tennessee. You get into northeastern Atlanta, Georgia, I should say, including Atlanta. So we're talking Saturday night and Sunday, which means flights Saturday are all messed up. And
Atlanta's
then Sunday.
a very busy airport, the busiest, so that's not going to be good.
Yeah, and so upstate, the high country of South Carolina, then of course Charlotte, Greensboro, even into Raleigh. Snow, at least initially in southern Virginia and up in the D.C., but then eventually, watch as we get into Sunday afternoon, some snow in D.C. starts to add a little bit of sleet, maybe some freezing rain. It's more sleet than anything else on top of that. Meanwhile, look what's happening here. East Tennessee goes from freezing rain, maybe a little bit of snow, but more freezing rain to rain by Sunday afternoon, which actually would not be bad.
Right. Yeah, so the main thing with all this is we have that Arctic high that's up to the north, and that's really playing a big role on, first we have this low pressure system to the south that's bringing all the warmth, the moisture. Warm air holds more moisture, but then that area high pressure that has all that Arctic air, that's really playing a big role in what these states can get. The latest trends, Bobby and I were looking at these before the show, and we're seeing it a little bit further north as far as the snow goes, the heaviest of snow. But the ice, that's going to be the
big problem here. Let's switch over to Weather 1 here. I want to show you, we've got snow here, we've got that mix, and somewhere in the mix we're going to see the freezing rain, and then generally most of this green is just going to be rain. And notice how, let me go back a little bit, notice how it changes, right? So it's not just one smooth snow rain line.
Yes.
You know, which people really want to. Is it going to snow at my house? Is it going to rain?
Yeah, what do we got?
All the above for some folks, all right? Especially in this area in here, North Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and South Carolina. So you see where it is now, and watch this green push up, all the way up almost to West Virginia. All right, now higher elevations will be a little bit different, but that is the warm air surging up, and that is a completely different look to the whole storm system as far as precip goes in about 12 hours.
Yeah.
Right? From 3 a.m. Sunday morning to 3 p.m. Sunday afternoon. You see that change that's taking place here. So to me, it's actually a better chance, or a better change, I should say, because it's actually warming a little bit.
Right.
After they get all this freezing rain. Okay, power outage is going to go, all that good stuff. But then you see this is cold air back in here that's coming back in from the north and the west. So whatever doesn't melt or get off the trees or whatever by Sunday night and Monday is going to freeze up. There's the rain by 2 a.m. Monday morning. So that's Sunday night, Monday morning. It's rain all the way up through eastern Carolina. And then you see a little bit of snow on the backside, including eastern Virginia up into D.C. and up into Philly, those areas. They may have a little mix and then come back to snow. But what you don't see here is just all kinds of cold air. All right. And that's what's driving down to the south and the east behind that front. Okay, so that's Monday afternoon, and then you can see the cold air pushing offshore. Now, this is what we've been showing you all week long. This is the European forecast model. I took the numbers off earlier in the week, but now we're getting closer to put the numbers on. But guys, this area right here, right, that was right here.
Yep.
At the beginning of the week. It was all in here. That is the shift. And that's what happens in these storms. It's just kind of like tracking a hurricane.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, it's funny because hurricanes, we always talk about the differences in the European model, the GFS. The European, this entire time, has been bringing it further north
to the north. That's
than
right.
the GFS has. So you know, the GFS, we still, you know, have a relationship with the GFS that's kind of finicky when it comes to winter weather,
Saw
too.
it called the Goofus,
Yeah.
which is actually pretty good because it just has not been right. So, all right, here's some of the heavier snow, okay, just along and north of that line. The GFS model is something like this. All right, it's not that much further south. It's coming into better agreement with the European model, which is good news. But either way, you notice we got nothing down here. We don't have to worry about that. We actually will get some rain. Here's the big deal. That's snow. All right, that's just snow. Now, some of those areas in Tennessee and North Carolina, Virginia, and northern Mississippi, and even Georgia, they're going to get ice on top of that.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is the real concern, especially I think in an area right into here, and then another area right into here. Probably going to see really thick, heavy freezing rain, and we're talking over ½ an inch is possible in some of those areas.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. Atlanta could see, well, I've seen some, you see the model right there, it says 0.8 inches. I don't think it gets that, but it could easily see 1/4 inch.
Yeah. Well, the big issue with freezing rain is, you know, a lot of the time you can't, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. Like when you see snow falling from the sky, you're like, oh, that's snow. But freezing rain can be very tricky because it looks like it's falling as regular rain, but then
It is falling as regular rain, yeah.
It freezes on the surface.
Yep.
That's when it becomes dangerous because you really can't tell the difference with the ground. And we keep bringing up this graphic.
Yeah,
This is on
perfect.
my computer, but basically the way that that column of air, we're always talking about that column of air, right? So just picture in the atmosphere, snow, of course, it's cold, below freezing from the top to the bottom, but freezing rain, it enters into this little sliver of, well, I should say a fat chunk of warmer air versus sleet. The warmer air, that sliver is a little bit smaller. Freezing rain freezes when it gets closer to the surface, so it just clings to everything and creates ice skating conditions. You know, it's like an ice rink.
It's with it. So what happens is way up here, which we're not showing you, everything's frozen.
Yeah.
For the most part, because it's just so high, it's so cold. Let's go back, if we could, guys, to the other one. But when you get, let's just look at the freezing rain column right here, okay? If you look at, say, just north of Atlanta, North Georgia, South Carolina, parts of North Carolina, if you go up at about 4,800 feet or so, everything below that's below freezing. That's this area down here. All right, when you get up to around 4,800 feet, it warms up. The wind's coming in from the south and the west, and it's a warmer wind. And then you go all the way up to about 9,000 feet, about 8,000 feet. That whole layer between about 4,000 and 8,000 is above freezing. So snow falls down into that layer, it melts into rain, and because the freezing level is so close to the surface, it doesn't have time to refreeze.
Right.
Okay, so it just lands on the trees right at the surface that are at or below 32 degrees. So that non-frozen drop freezes on whatever it hits.
Right.
Now, sleet's a little bit different. If you notice, sleet doesn't have as much warm air aloft. And what happens is, yes, snow falls down, it melts into that warm area, right, above, but this is a little bit higher. And then you see this area right here, it has more time to freeze again.
Right.
And it doesn't create snow, which are done in snow crystals done in real cold air aloft. It just takes that raindrop and just freezes it like an ice pellet.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what sleet is. And it's
better
falling down
structure.
as sleet.
Yeah.
So you're driving through this, you hear tick, 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 tick on your
Yes.
windshield. Right? You drive through this and you just hear raindrops.
Right.
But the road is frozen and the things around you are frozen. And if it's just your car, you'll get that glaze over your car as well,
Yeah.
too. So
Very
that's what's going to
dangerous.
happen. And then you look obviously over here, it's warm all the way through and it
Regular
drops all the way
rain.
down. So let's see. Let me see. I did want to show you. You've got this. That's the ice accumulation. I did want to show you.
Yes,
This is a
yeah.
good one here. This kind of shows. I mean, it's got some numbers on it, but this is going to change. But this shows those areas where we're thinking. See, Northeast Georgia, and I mean, look how much of North Carolina and Southern Virginia could be seeing this. Now, this is a forecast model. These numbers are going to change, but literally, the chances, if you're in this area right in here, you need to be prepared for freezing rain, for power outages. You do not need to be traveling on the roads. You don't need to go anywhere. And certainly that goes for this area here in East Texas, North Louisiana, Southern Arkansas, and then up in the Northwest Mississippi. So
Yeah, I was going to say that earlier with the power outages. The freezing rain really weighs everything down. When it freezes on the surface, those trees, those power lines easily get toppled over. They're just too heavy.
And then the trees toppled over onto power lines and take them out too. So yeah, power's going to go out. Okay, 4:41. Let's take a quick break. We'll come up. We'll finish up with some of this winter stuff, and then we have to talk near record temperatures here. High temperatures. We'll have that coming up.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Familiarize yourself with where your water shutoff valve is located. If backflow prevention devices are installed, get them tested annually.
Those are some great tips, and Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40-TODAY.
I was driving when a Ford pickup truck barreled into me from behind, sending me to the hospital.
I knew my husband was going to need an excellent attorney, so I called Dan Newland.
I'm so glad my wife called Dan. Dan really fought for me. He won my case and got me $650,000.
If you've been involved in a car accident, allow me to fight for you. Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Thanks, Dan, for winning my husband's case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
All right, welcome back, guys. So we're talking about the winter weather that's going to really bring a big impact to several states, not us.
I mean, near record high temperatures while they're dealing with that.
Yeah.
Not a lot of rubbing it in from me, at least on social media.
Yeah.
Because some folks up north are going to have it pretty rough, and this is kind of, you don't want to do that and show off a little bit. But it is going to be nice here.
Yeah, no, I was there for the big freeze in Texas back in 2019.
Oh, that's right.
And man, it was brutal. But their temperatures, they were like below freezing temperatures plus the ice. So it's just days of power outages, the power grid, as you know. But we do have a package from Reed Binion about some closer looks of how these states are preparing. So let's go ahead and roll that.
Don't ever wait until the last minute because supplies run out.
Residents in more than 24 states are bracing for a monster winter storm set to bring damaging ice and heavy snow.
It's getting pretty desperate out there. I guess everybody's running out of stuff.
That includes supplies to get ready for the storm.
We've gone through all our supplies, so we sold out of ice melt.
I'm looking for rock salt.
It's hard to find this stuff.
The massive storm's impact zone could stretch more than 1,500 miles from the plains across the south and into the northeast. More than 90 million people across parts of 23 states are already under winter storm watches.
No, never too soon to worry about the weather.
Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, one of many state leaders already mobilizing resources to prepare. Airlines and airports, including Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International, one of the world's busiest, also getting ready.
Our snow team, we're doing a lot of preparation.
Of particular concern is the ice set to hit southern states, making roads treacherous and extended power outages possible. North and South Carolina have declared states of emergency. Meanwhile, heavy snow up to a foot in some places is expected to the north of the storm's freezing rain zone. The Arctic blast will also bring bone-chilling cold, potentially breaking daily high and low cold temperature records. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Yeah, it's going to get really cold. That's what you were just saying, the Texas incident, right? Remember that? Back in 2019, you said, right? Mm-hmm. So it was really cold to begin with. Then they had the storm system. It was really cold afterwards, so things didn't melt. That will be the situation for a lot of that area as well. So some very cold air coming in. I think I was looking at Charlotte, have some friends there. It looked like, this is 2 days ago, so it may change, but they were going to get below freezing, I think, Friday evening and not get back above it until maybe Tuesday, more likely Wednesday. So that causes a lot of extra problems when you're trying to recover from all this, you're not going to have a lot of warm air to melt things. So we're going to have to wait and see how that works out, but that's why we want everybody really to be prepared just in case. I do want to pass this along if you can to your friends or family. This will go online, I think, so I just wanted to show this.
Oh, that's
but
nice.
If somebody is traveling, and we just say, look, you don't need to be traveling in these areas, right?
Right.
But if you're going to be in your car, you need to have this stuff, food and water, right? Because you may get stranded, and you may be stranded in your car for more than a day. You know, it could be days. Remember what happened in Raleigh? And then 2 weeks later, we had it happen in Atlanta. Those are metro areas, and people were stranded for a couple days, right? Backup heat source, flashlights and batteries for your phones, first aid kit and medications, extra blankets, and warm clothing. Key to have that. And even smoke detectors at home, you want to check that because a lot of folks are going to be using gas, they're going to be using space heaters, things like that. So you want to make sure you're doing all of that. But oh boy, it is going to be really cold. Take a look at how cold the air is back behind it. All right, so this is Friday, this is Saturday, and you notice the storm itself is actually running along the edge of this cold air, okay? Because that's where the warm moisture is coming from, and it throws it right over top of that cold air. That's why you get the freezing rain. Remember, we just talked about those layers. Now, Sunday into Monday, look at it shifting. See all this diving to the south and the east. That's the cold air. Look at that, right over top of that area. Now, remember, this wind is coming in like this to us, right? Instead of coming in over ground that's just bare ground, that circled area likely has some snow and and ice on it.
Yeah.
So when this cold air comes down, it doesn't moderate as fast. It stays colder. By the time it gets here, it's colder than what it normally would be. And so we are going to be very chilly as we get into next week. And then this kind of shows the overall trend. Look at that.
Yeah.
That was all of next week. Look at this. That's February 1st right there. That is real cold air.
Yeah.
Next week here in Florida is going to be chilly. So you need to enjoy these numbers. Look at that. That is incredible. Upper 70s to low 80s through Sunday for us here in the Tampa Bay area.
It's really a tease for us.
Yeah, it really is.
Because we're back to those chillier temperatures.
And partly cloudy, too. We have a real small chance for a shower tomorrow. I think we put 10%. Don't worry about that. Looks dry on Saturday for the Gasparilla kids. Fantastic weather for that. Sunday starts to get breezy with winds out of the south. If you're boating, Saturday's a better day than Sunday, which also there'll be a lot of boats out there on Saturday.
Yeah.
Not as many as the adult Gasparilla, but there will be a bunch. And then as we get into next week, you can see the front comes through early on Monday morning. It's really overnight, Sunday night into Monday, and temperatures will basically be falling all day on Monday.
Yeah.
And there is about a 30% chance, but highs in the upper 50s to low 60s. And then look, it gets a reinforcing shot for next week, and this is the adult Gasparilla.
Yeah.
55 is what the GFS is saying. But
which last year's Gasparilla, adult Gasparilla, was colder too. Remember?
Yeah, it was chilly, but not as cold as 55 degrees.
Yeah, not as cold as
And
this.
we'll still see, but the other problem with that is there's a front coming through right now, and the timing is Saturday night into Sunday morning. If that happens, that would be perfect, but the problem is it's so far out in time that you can't accept that timing. That timing is going to change, which means there's going to be some rain. Do we get it on the backside or during Gasparilla, or do we get it late afternoon and evening hours on Sunday, which is the outdoor hockey game?
Right.
So we're watching that very, very closely. Yeah. Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll have our 7-day forecast.
I was involved in a very bad car accident. Called attorney Dan Newland, and it was like 1, 2, 3. Dan really got it done for me. At the end of my case, he got me $525,000.
As one of the largest personal injury law firms in the United States, my team and I remain committed more than ever to win big on your case. Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me at 813-888-8000.
Thank you, Dan, for winning my case.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row. Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
With a fresh new look and over 60 years of keeping Floridians comfortable, Cool Today is the name to trust for fast same-day service. Cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Our friendly expert technicians take the hassle out of home repair today. And Cool Today is here for you tomorrow, too. That's why we're introducing a parts and labor warranty on select AC systems for a lifetime. For cooling, plumbing, or electrical service, get the best from today and for years to come. Cool Today.
All right, everybody, let's talking Pirates.
Yeah.
Right? Children's Gasparilla forecast. Look at that, 80 to 83 degrees for daytime highs. It's going to be warm in the afternoon. Now, the only thing is we will get a southerly wind, and that's going to come in off the water there on Bayshore, and that water's in the lower to mid 60s. So it's going to be chilly at the water, but still a lot of sunshine around. It's going to feel great. This is perfect weather for the kids out there. It's almost a little warm for January for the adults, so a little bit cooler for the weekend after. I think is going to be really good. There's our 7-day forecast, and it is a big change. All right, dry basically through, really all the way through
Sunday night.
Yeah. I mean, we got the 10% on Saturday. It's not. I'm not worried about that at all for Gasparilla.
Now Saturday, what do you think about a little bit of fog in the morning?
Could happen.
See, the winds are light enough,
and especially along the coast.
Yeah,
it's a great point because water temperature is coming in around 62 degrees. Those overnight lows are in the low 60s, and then even look at Sunday morning. Sunday morning probably a better chance to have some fog.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll be watching the fog chances, and especially along